What's up, and welcome to another episode of Rage Hammer. It's been a while, and well, it's for good reason. You know, we don't always have stuff to rage about, but today we do, and it's gonna be on Age of Sigmar,
Fucking
I
Games
guess.
Workshop.
Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck this. They fucked us.
No, we haven't done our proper intro. We haven't warned people yet.
Fuck them. Fuck the people. The people at Games Workshop.
So, if you haven't watched a Rage Hammer episode ever, or, you know, it has been a while, we do and say things that may not be appropriate for some people, and definitely do not follow some of the same standards as other Allies Index videos. So, if you're...
So lock up your kids, lock up your wife.
Yeah.
Anyone that's allowed the appropriate age to play Age of Sigmar should not be watching this video.
Oh, Seb getting in some shots early.
Oh.
With us today is Seb,
Hello!
special guest.
Yeah, it's
Seb.
nice to be here. I'm feeling rage-tastic.
Yeah. Yeah, and like always, Savage.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And myself, Toxic.
Hi, Toxic.
Thank you. It's great to be here. But yeah, I guess we're not really raging at Age of Sigma so much as more of the community outrage that has gone
Everybody
along.
stop watching.
Yeah, everyone stops watching at that moment. You know, it happens. Yeah, so I guess we'll just go over our initial thoughts so far. So, of, you know, maybe not some angry stuff, maybe some angry stuff, but Seb, we'll start with you. You made a post about it on alliesindex.com and posted your thoughts about it. You want to refresh us?
Yeah, I think the models look awesome. There is some argument to the looking a bit more 40k, but having seen them in person, all painted up lovely last night, and actually getting to play about with them, I just think they look awesome. And I do think this is going to be a fun game that we can play. Yeah, it might not have the depth and the hardcore competition-ness of Warhammer previous fantasy previous editions, but we can have some fun, or we can just burn everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the two.
That does remind me. Another warning here. We are all dirty 40k casuals. So yeah, if now like the two people that were left just just fucking like threw
Wait,
the
people
computer
watching
away.
this to begin with?
No, probably not.
Oh, that's right. We put the titty girl as the caption for it.
Yeah.
Demon
That's
has gone wild.
Yeah. It's at 19 minutes and 20 seconds if you just want to skip to that. I really have to like insert just a picture of like Savage just flipping the bird at 19 minutes and 20 seconds. But Savage, yourself, I mean, thoughts on Age of Sigmar? I mean, your initial thoughts on its release and seeing those sweet circle bases.
Them circle bases that makes it. It sells it. It sells it. I want it just for the circle bases now. No, it actually looks pretty cool. I'd probably get into it now.
Yep.
Seeing as that they're not fucking all ugly movement trays.
Oh, so
Literally, that was like one of
stabbed.
one of the main things that I fucking hate about fantasy. Hated about fantasy was them fucking movement trays. They're hideous.
Yeah,
And fuck you cunts that like them. Fuck. Fuck.
I can agree.
You're living in the past, man. Living in the past.
You're living in a fantasy. No, but I could agree myself with the square bases. Is that I didn't like them aesthetically, and it was like one of those things where we have said this before. It's like, man, I would prefer fantasy if it did have circle bases. I have tried to get into fantasy 3 times. I've tried getting it. I first tried to get into them playing demons. Then I tried getting into it playing Empire, and then I tried getting into playing Skaven. So 3 times I've tried getting into it. Back in Dice Troop days, like that was one of my goals, was to be like, I want to know fantasy so I can post and talk more about fantasy. And then I just didn't, and it goes more than the circle bases. A big thing that kind of threw me off was the sheer amount of stuff you needed. Like just to have a game. Like you needed a ton of infantry. You needed like you know multiple arrows spread across your army, and huge war engines and stuff. And to me, it felt like you needed more than a 40k army. And people complain about 40k needing so much to get into. And
Yeah, you could just play Infinity. Buy one model for $60.
You definitely see like fantasy battles looking like a very big kind of 40k size game. Generally, the army size.
Yeah, it was like you needed like a lot of infantry, a lot of stuff, and it was kind of intimidating to get into, to be honest. And um,
And the Tyrion doesn't scare easy.
I definitely don't.
But those circle bases just make him feel that much more at home.
It does, yeah. It's nice, but yeah, it's. I mean, anyone have sight to kind of go from there? I mean, obviously, what we wanted to talk about most is the not
Bitching
not
and
Age
the
of Sigmar
moaning.
itself, because obviously we don't know too much. Seb knows the most about it, and that's really
played it!
showing something. Uh, but well, before we get into that, Seb, how was the game? Because a lot of people that I've known, I've spoken to, and that I've seen complaining about this haven't played the game yet.
So like I really enjoyed the game. Oh, just before we get that, the circle, square bases, any bases are fine. Just circle bases are normal now. But as for the game, I thoroughly enjoyed it. We played with the box set, so we had the Sigmarites and the Chaos. I was Chaos. They'd all been painted up by some of the lovely painting elves from the shop, and basically it's very easy. Obviously there's the 4-page rule sheet that people lose their bones because it's so short, but the rules are pretty easy to pick up.
So
There's
short and
everything.
free.
Yeah, short, free. Everything you need on the War Scrolls, which is either in the army books that they've brought out again for free for everybody, and they even have at the back of them, if there's anything they haven't counted in the War Scroll, there's a count as. So if you've got a conversion, you've got a model that isn't represented, just use the rules of that instead. It tells you what to do. But the battle was okay. This is where really this is going to be fun. So really enjoyed myself. Went through the things. People are going to say it's unbalanced. People have already said it's unbalanced. I got swept off the board, and I only killed a single model. But
So typical game for Seb.
yeah, different game for me. Yeah, that's fair. But I don't think it's unbalanced. Alex had the
Who
most.
are you playing?
My friend Alex, who plays he does play 40k and some bit of fantasy, and he is very competitive how he plays.
What army was he playing?
He was playing the Sigmarites.
And you were playing Chaos?
Chaos, yeah. There's about a third more models. There's exactly a third more models for Chaos, because there's more Marauder Reaver guys than the bigger guys for thing. The armies are balanced. He just rolled insanely to hit and to wound, and it saved everything. And I just rolled 1s and 2s all night and didn't manage to do anything. That's dice. That is any war game, anything that is gonna have chance in it. That can happen.
Now, big question. Did you forget at one point you were playing fantasy and think you were playing 40k?
I kind of approached it like it was 40k, because that's my understanding of how I play things. But it is definitely significantly different to 40k. You have the taking in turns to fight. You've got the hero phase, basically the command phase, where you do your abilities and things. You do have the psychic phase and the shooting phase, and they still have charging, and charging is still different to how 40k works. But the most interesting thing is you roll for initiative each turn to see who goes first, and also you take it in turns to fight, which is interesting.
How much,
When you can split wounds and attacks all over the place.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did it feel like 40k?
4, maybe 5
Hmm.
out of 10. Not that high.
So it did still
'Cause there
feel
were
like its
different
own thing?
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's
If
it's weird
someone had
getting head
only
around-
played 40k though, would
Yeah.
they be able to pick that up fairly easy in like a game? Like after one game, they're like, I could play this game.
Definitely, but I think that the same against any kind of war game, or even coming in it fairly fresh. If you've got someone who can explain the rules to you, it's 4 pages to read through, and it's pretty comprehensive.
I'm sorry, all I heard was I feel like they're the same game. No.
I did have my Corn Berserkers. I mean, Blood Warriors. Sorry.
It's I don't know. It's there's so much rage though, and I can see where it's coming from. I think everyone can see where it's coming from. Even us dirty 40k casuals can see where it's coming from. I mean, you've gone from a game that's completely different to what to this. It's not the same game. It's not another edition. It's just Warhammer Fantasy Battles is gone. Age of Sigmar is the thing.
Let's be honest. There's probably like 100 fantasy players. Like, I mean, seriously, like there's not that many people playing fantasy, and if they play fantasy, they also play 40k, and they're probably going to be playing 40k more often. Like if I go to Games Workshop, there's always fucking 40k. I rarely see a game of fantasy being played. Obviously, there's a reason that they've done this. It's because they're not fucking making money off fantasy.
Yeah,
because the people
we
that
need to get into that.
Yeah, and it's not that people are not playing it even. It's that they're not buying stuff. They have their armies. They're not buying anything more. And
yeah, well, the people that are bitching about it probably like bought their models in like fucking, I don't know, 5th or 6th edition of the game and haven't bought any new models since and just been buying the rule books or whatever. And then they're bitching that it's changed now because, oh no, it's just you can still use the models. So use them
Savage,
shitty fucking
they don't
models.
bring out fantasy models. They hardly ever bring out fantasy models, and 40k models come out every week. Every week. Why do they support it so much more? Come on.
Because they don't make fucking money.
Yeah, exactly. It's a vicious
You can't have it
cycle.
You can't haven't spent money since you bought like the first fucking starter set and then maybe a hero.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you've printed out your codexes offline ever since.
I think that this might be a rare case, but from what I've seen, the people that have been putting money into fantasy and have been buying stuff as it comes out are psyched that Age of Sigmar is a thing, and they're down to play it. And it's the people that they haven't brought a model since they first got into it. They have their army, it's set, and edition in edition they'll play that army. It's those people that are upset. At least that's the way that I've seen so far. Is like the people that I see that post regularly about the new stuff they're adding and things like that. They're all like, "Well, okay, cool, let's go with this new stuff." And it's the other people that haven't. And I hate to say it, but it also seems like a lot of the hate is coming from people that probably haven't played fantasy in a while. It's like, okay, you played fantasy back in 6th edition, 7th edition, 5th edition, whatever edition, you may have good memories of it back then, but if you haven't played fantasy, if you don't play fantasy regularly or at all since then, why are you complaining that it's changed now? You're part of the reason why it's changing now, because you haven't played it. You don't continually put money into it or invest time into it.
But they were just about to buy one model.
Yeah.
But that fit fourth.
It's just
fifth,
too
sixth
expensive,
edition
though.
Argument comes up so much.
Games
that?
Workshop's just too expensive.
It's that previous edition argument comes up so much. It's like, so you don't even like the thing that it's come from. You like it a good few years ago, but still you're not allowed to do something new.
Yep. It's the thing. The thing is it's either they do this or they cut their losses and just stop.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
for them,
stop
for
it.
them
model
to,
company.
for them to put out the rules and all the war scrolls for free, obviously is telling you that there's not money being made off it. So they knew that if they released a new fucking rule book straight off the bat, they're probably not going to make money off.
Yeah. Exactly. And
The books aren't small.
And
The
and
PDFs
his
are like 54 pages long or something ridiculous like that.
and here's
They
another thing,
are
right?
20 pages long.
Here's another thing, is even if I'm completely wrong about what I said about people not playing it or people not buying it and stuff, here's the thing, right? For a company to grow, you need to continually sell to the next generation. If you sell to one generation, that generation will die off, and if you haven't got the one after that, then your product's not gonna get sold. 40k is so much easier to sell to younger kids and the younger generation than fantasy is. Um, like you see it all the time, especially if you go to games workshops a lot. They, a young kid comes in and they go, "Well, let's start and we'll do a painting session." And they go, "Do you want to paint this Space Marine? You want to paint this High Elf? Or you want to paint, I know Legolas from Lord of the Rings or whatever?" And most of them are gonna be like, "Well, who the fuck is this guy from Lord of the Rings?" um, I mean, honestly, come on. Like,
the people that are bitching about the rules
and they
are
go
probably
for
the
the
same
Space
people.
Marine every time.
The people that are bitching about the change are probably the same people that are still bitching about the Star Wars prequels.
No, I've been about the prequels and I'm happy with Sigmar.
No, but
Fuck you, Savage.
that's
Fuck
that's
you.
definitely the truth. Like, I'm not even 99% sure. I'm 100% positive that if fantasy is not selling to younger kids, then it's not gonna grow. So you make a game that is, that is more of, can be picked up a little bit more easy by younger kids or a younger generation. Then they're gonna play it, and then they're gonna continue buying it. It's
Well, one of the things that we were talking about in our local game group was that maybe this is a way of getting rid of really hardcore competitive kind of old guys with beards and things who can be somewhat a barrier to younger people and new people getting into the game. And maybe this just pushes them out and gives a little bit and just gives that next generation a chance to go. And that kind of sucks if you're in that group, but got to be the kids.
If you're in that group, you probably haven't played Warhammer in a while.
And you've got your army, and you've got your books, and you've got your rules. Because this is something we need to talk about. No one's taking your 8th edition rulebook.
Yeah, Games Workshop didn't come to your home, open the door, and be like, 8th edition rulebook, please, and then they burn it in front of you.
Hey, yo, this is the repo, man. We're coming to get your rulebook, fool.
Yeah.
Yo, don't make this hard, man. This is my job. Just doing my job.
Breaks in your house with a gold spray can. Just sprays all your Empire guys gold. They're Stormbringers now.
Yeah. And then steals your wallet. But it's. I mean, it is what it is. But
to catch the bus.
But yeah, I think you're right in that sense. Like, and let's be honest. When was the last time you've seen a fantasy tournament? Like, out of all the hobby stores that I've kind of seen and been a part of in the last even 3 years, I have not seen them announce a fantasy tournament. I've seen 40k tournaments, at least one every kind of 3 months. Haven't seen a fantasy tournament.
They do take place. They're just still definitely not as popular.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and those people like have their stuff, like they have their rules. There's no real reason to add, to it. Yeah, it's just, it's an intimidating game to get into. And it's a harder game to get into.
Age of Sigmar is uncompetition and a bull.
Good.
Yet.
But they're bringing out a rulebook, aren't they? Like a legit big rulebook, right?
Are they? Because the big rulebook in the box set is fluff and war scrolls for the dudes in the boxes. Because they're unique factions.
Well, because I keep hearing that there is going to be some form of...
There'll be a rulebook for sure.
There is going to be some form of balancing system. That's what I keep hearing. I don't know if it's true or not, but...
What I WordPad.
What I imagine they would do is they would probably throw this out there, give it, I don't know, like 3 months, maybe. See how many people are playing it, see if fantasy sales increase. They've probably already got like the rulebook half written anyway. They just add like the finer details to it and stuff. But yeah, if like fantasy model sales increase, then they'll probably start pumping more money back into it.
Well, I saw somewhere like there was like a template that was sent out of like saying how you could run more structured events, and I can't remember the exact.
Is it
thing.
the 1 to 12 war scroll thing? And
Yeah, and it was like units can only have like up to X amount of wounds and things like that.
And heroes can't be duplicated, and all of the war scrolls can only be duplicated once. So basically, it's a false organization chart, essentially.
Yeah, just with no points.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then people say, well, then I'll take 10 bloodthirsters or whatever. And it's like, well, you can do that in 40k if you want to, but that hasn't fucking changed it, has it? Have you had a game since 7th edition came out where someone has taken just one unit over and over again? Have you seen that?
You just spam Riptides all the time, Toxic. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know, right?
10 Riptides. 10 Riptides and 10 Bloodthirsters.
You know what's funny though is people bitching that there's no points values are the same ones that saying that they've been playing it since 5th edition. So obviously you would know what model does what and their rough points cost and how valuable they are in a game.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if you're still playing with the same people because no one else fucking plays fantasy, you're still gonna be playing the same fucking list that you've been playing for the past 5 fucking years.
I'm assuming that. I'm assuming
you can fucking wait till the rulebook comes out.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that there might not be a rule book, but there might be like a scenario book where it's like, in this scenario, one person plays the attacker, one person plays the defender. The attacker has, X war scrolls and this, and then the defender has, X war scrolls and this, thing. Right?
But there is some balancing even in the current rules that we have. If you have a third less models, then you can basically set up a challenge for your opponent to do, which could be choose the most difficult thing. So up to surviving to turn 6, or where is it? There's this random sudden death ways of getting victories if you're really outnumbered as well.
So there is balance.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
And it can broaden it to the Force.
Yeah.
No, Sigma! You were supposed to be the chosen one!
Yeah, so... that's what I was meant to say. It's now Warhammer Fantasy 40k, Age of Sigmar, The Lost Primarch. That's what Games Workshop wanted to do, but,
No, what Games Workshop wanted to do is just not bring out anything and just be like, can we have your money, please?
Yeah. Just
they had to do something.
Insert money into this envelope and send it to us.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Whoever sends the most money wins. Go!
But they really are more about the models. They are
a miniatures company.
Yeah, that happens.
They're not a rules company.
And they didn't need to give us all these rules and stuff for free. They just didn't. They could have gone. We've been doing Age of Sigmar, but it's it's in the box. You buy the box, or you buy the models. See you later. That's all we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing that gets me as well is also fantasy. To play it properly, you did need. I don't care what you say, but what anyone says, you cannot play fantasy properly at a small points limit like you can play 40k. It just doesn't work like that. You need a big army to play properly. 2 squares of guys in a HQ or whatever doesn't work very well.
No.
So people complain, well, it costs so much money to get into it, you gotta buy so many units, blah blah blah. Well, now you don't have to do that. You can buy 2 boxes of stuff, and you're done.
I mean, this kind of takes it back to how they fucking all started with this, whereas because they used to be a game shop or something, and then they made models for D&D and then turn it into their own rules, pretty much, right?
Yeah, people had loads of excess D&D models. They're like, oh, let's make some rules for it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty much gone back to that.
Yeah, more or less.
All your first edition ones that are they've finally got their chance again.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this for 30 fucking years. Thank you. Thank you, Games Workshop.
Oh, break out the pre-slaughter. Yeah. OOP. Get it off eBay with ridiculous pricing with the rarity and stuff, and now you can play it again.
Yeah. But I think it's time for me to break out my conspiracy theory, right?
Oh, here
So
we go.
you're saying that there's like Facebook pages and stuff and fan groups about Fantasy 8.5, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Jesse
And now,
Ventura did it.
so now people that haven't played, right? So people that haven't played in so long, they're sitting there, they're playing War Machine, they're playing Infinity, Malifaux, whatever they want to play, right? And then this happens, and they're like, "What? This game that I played 3 years ago is changing? Fuck this! I'm gonna complain about it. Oh, look, there's people that do 8.5 stuff. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do." And then they're like, "Okay, yep, they're gonna get, on this big roar and stop playing 8.5, right?"
Oh yes, not the people setting up 8.5 because they're people playing. Yeah, but that's going to attract these people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and now they're like, well, and now they start painting the stuff they have now, or maybe they start buying some stuff. Games Workshop made this, so you would just buy models anyway to play 8.5.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is
See, I
it's
have little to no faith in the people that haven't played it for like 3 years or whatever to actually go out and buy new models.
Nope. Because you could get
Huh?
Infinity Army for that.
Yeah, exactly. You could have all the Infinity for one Games Workshop model.
That it is it is bad though that I brought all the X-Wing miniatures that there is after selling one of my 40k armies. Like,
Yeah, but
all of them.
yeah.
at the same time, 40k's been around for fucking
Yeah.
years.
No,
and
it's two completely different game systems. We don't think that way.
Yeah.
But yeah. Another thing though, why 8.5? No one liked 8, if I remember rightly. People complained about 8. So why 8.5? Why not 5.5 or 6.5?
Yeah, they probably exist.
You know what I
somewhere
mean?
as well. Yeah.
It's like, why go back to 8.5 if you didn't like 8.5? Why not just take it one step further and go back to the one definitive edition? I tell you
So
why,
go back
because there
to-
isn't one definitive edition.
Just play 1980s Dungeons and Dragons and forget that Warhammer has even been born yet. Maybe.
Yeah. Or just fuck off, like, honestly. Like, if you're gonna complain about it this much, like, we don't fucking want you. Like,
Yeah, it's not necessarily good. It's definitely not good for the community. But like, one of the theories is that people are so angry with Age of Sigmar because they weren't happy with 8th edition, so they were hoping that some magical thing was going to come and make everything better and take it back to how it used to be in the previous
it's
edition
like,
already.
fuck 8th edition.
You know what?
I'm not
people-
fucking buying 8th edition. I'm not buying a new codex for 8th edition. I'm not buying any new models for 8th edition
They're called
until they
army
make a good
books.
one. Yeah, and until they make a good 9th edition, then I'll stop buying it. It's your fucking fault. This happened because of you.
You know why they're holding on to like 5th edition so much? It's because they weren't married and they didn't have kids, so they could spend all their money on fucking Warhammer. And now they're married, living a miserable fuck life, having to deal with like shitty kids, not getting any sleep, working a 9 to 5,
That's
fucking never
true.
being able to play their games anymore. They're holding on to like their memories, not for the game system because the game system was still fucking terrible, but the memories that they could actually spend their whole paycheck on Warhammer.
That's true. You know how I know that's true? Because I think
Because
at the
you
same
fucking
time
did it.
about 5th edition 40k. I think that sometimes. I'm like, man, I kind of miss 5th edition. Maybe you're right. Maybe I don't miss 5th edition. I just miss those times that I could spend a whole paycheck on 40k.
This is like when this Final Fantasy VII remake comes out. It's not going to make everyone feel 14 again. It's just you can't bring back the past. Can't bring a time through a set of rules.
No.
Should we talk about the rules a bit, or?
That's 40k. If you know how to play 40k, you know how to play Age of Sigmar.
But there no.
No, Seb. No,
No,
Seb.
no, Seb.
No,
No,
Seb.
Seb, shut up.
Oh, it's
But
40k.
40k has
No.
strength versus toughness, and then join
No.
like this.
No.
Fight.
No,
It's 40k.
Okay.
it's 40.
No.
Yeah. But like, having hit to wound and roll to hit,
Shut,
hit
Seb.
all your stuff.
Shut up. Shut up.
Just no. I will
Shut
make
up.
my point.
You are the guest on this fucking show, alright? Shut up.
No, but
40k.
okay. Seriously though,
Sorry, you can talk again, Seb.
Okay.
You have my permission.
But like having
no one's listening by now anyway. So you
Yeah,
can just
Look, these are just telling you fuckers, right? The roll to hit, roll to wound on the war scroll of the things. You're not. It's not opposed tests, but this is kind of like and special rules. Like Archeon's got his demon axe, so on a special roll after doing damage, anything can die. So you could kill Nagash in one go. Like these heroic, crazy things can happen. People just aren't happy with it. And let's get to the Munchkin rules. That's the thing that other people are really unhappy as well. Oh, I'm unofficially calling them the Munchkin rules.
What are they officially called?
I have no idea what they're. They mostly exist within the commands that the special characters can do. So they're mainly in your hero phase when you're buffing stuff. So
like warlord traits.
Yeah, but they're like warlord. Yeah, but they constantly are in effect each go, so it's different.
Like warlord traits.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like 40k.
So the Munchkin, there's a high elf dragon that if you don't smile and retain your aloofness, you get to re-roll even if your opponent tries to make you laugh. Or like beastmen, if you let out a bestial roar, you get something else as well. There's Tomb Kings, if you kneel down, you lose the game. And there's tomb swarms that can bury themselves off the table, which means if you take a small amount of them against a bigger force and choose the sudden death special victory condition, which means survive to 6 turns with them on the board or off the board, you win the game. So there's things that can potentially break it or make it silly. But Toxic had an interesting point about the Munchkin rules.
Yeah, and this is the way that I see it, and this is only an interesting way to play it. You don't have to play with those rules, right?
They're written there, but sure, you could easily agree not to do them.
Yeah. Well,
all they do is
mysterious
add...
objective. How many times do you fucking use mysterious objectives?
Or even night fighting.
But yeah, it's like, let's say, we're playing some Age of Sigmar. We're having a drink. We've got our list built. We don't care about, the points where it's like, these guys are cool. Yeah, go against those guys. That looks good. We're playing our game. And then you have these, like, goofy rules that you have to, like, make bestial rolls or whatever when you're playing Beastmen and stuff. Who gives a shit? You're already drinking, having a good time. You're not worrying about points. You're just fucking playing a game.
Beer and pretzels casual. Jesus Christ.
Is the elf one like you have to suck off a dude or something?
There's one that you would win over Toxic if you were playing. Is who's got the biggest moustache?
There's no goatee, chin scruff,
facial pubes.
Facial pubes. No, Sam's got the facial pubes.
The soul patch.
Yeah, I got a soul patch.
Oh, but like you said, they could be fun for people who are having a drink and just having a good time. You don't need to use them, and they could be good fun for kids.
Imagine, exactly. And like if you're a Games Workshop employee showing people how to play the game, like that gets them into it.
Oh god.
But
could you imagine fucking old manager at Games Workshop Broad Beach?
Yeah, I could. Exactly. But
it's like first pitching.
Yeah, sucking off a dude because he's playing elf, right? No, that's not actually a rule. But
That's out the back.
But no, like think about this way though. Like you're still this really hardcore like tournament fantasy player, and you're like, I'm not gonna let anything get me down. And you're playing Age of Sigmar, and you like take those rules super serious. You like got this huge moustache because you're like, I'm never gonna fucking lose that. You're like. You're going in there like snorting like a pig or whatever the Beastman thing is. Like he's like so super serial. Like this is a serious game. If I have to suck off a dude, I'm gonna suck off a dude.
I'm pretty sure the factions mean you can take any model, so you could just take all the models with the rules.
Kneeling downs for pussies.
Just people like kicking other people's legs out from under them when they're playing Tomb Kings.
So then technically, if you're playing Tomb Kings and Elves, when you knelt down to,
you would lose that sucking up a guy.
Oh, poetry.
So that's the only combo you can't use is Tomb Kings and Elves. Don't use them together.
Unless you're versing a real tall dude.
Yeah. Like his dick is in your face already.
Oh man.
Well, I'm pretty tall. And Seb's pretty short.
Seb doesn't play elves though. Sure, you can
He's gonna
convince him,
start.
though.
He's gonna start playing him, whether he likes it or not.
Here's one thing that I like the idea of this. What is putting me off 40k right now, and I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but is the speed that they're releasing codexes is putting me off 40k. Because I can't keep up with it. I don't have the money to keep up with it anymore. I sold my Space Marine army because they released a new codex. Like, that's the opposite effect it should have on me. They should release a codex, I buy the codex and buy the new models. I shouldn't sell my army because of it. But I sold it because I didn't want to, I couldn't be bothered buying the codex.
You're gonna ruin 40k. We're gonna have Age of Emperor anytime soon now.
Good, because this is what I meant to say. I like the idea that the rules are out there for free, you know? Like, it means if they update it, I don't have to buy a new one. The way that they're doing it is that I could still use the models. That's not going to matter. If they put out new models, I can buy them if I want to. If I don't want to buy them, I don't have to. I would love nothing more than a 40k end times. That is what I want the most right now out of 40k, is for them to do some end times shit.
I don't think the world could handle the rage. Because, like, this is the thing. We've been doing these geeky blogs for a couple of years now and, checking out rumors and people react to stuff. Like, we don't suck on the teats of Games Workshop, but we do enjoy their games, we do enjoy their models. People, Games Workshop fans, just freak the fuck out. Anything new, whether it's a new rule change or a new model or something being added to the fluff, it's the most reactionary group of people I've ever seen about anything. It's bonkers.
Yeah. But, like, the thing that infuriates me the most is that these changes are things people want to see until they happen. I want free rules, okay? There you go. I want free army books. See? Didn't say codexes.
Codices, motherfucker!
Codexes.
Codices.
Seb, you're the only one in the world that says codexes. Games Workshop doesn't say codexes. Yeah, they want the story to advance. Like, they want an easier way to get into it, cheaper entry point.
Mm-hmm.
Games Workshop's like, okay, take these things. Like, and then they just slap it out of the Games Workshop's hand and shit all over them. It's
saying cheaper, like it's 2 models less than the Dark Vengeance set, and it was like $15, 15 quid more expensive. The big things you get and the variety of things you get in that set is insane. Like, it fills a table. Like, when you get Dark Vengeance, you definitely feel like you need to add some stuff to get more of a game to it. That's a game. It's there, ready to go.
The thing that I'm seeing, though, and why I'm saying less, is because if you just look at the square bases and rank and file, you just need more to play a proper game. Like, 2 squads in rank and file and like an HQ or a big siege weapon or something is not going to make for a fun game. It's just not. But in 40k, like, you could legit have just 2 units and a big thing, and it's going to be a much more fun game. Now you can do that, though. You can go in at an entry point of having those smaller armies and actually being able to play fun. And that's what put me off fantasy so much, is that to get into it, I couldn't just buy a small army and go from there. I had to start with a huge army.
But I could just have 2 little things of Skaven slave rat things, and you could have, like, Nagash and Archon, who are like 2 of the most powerful characters in the whole thing. How's that? I
could, but I wouldn't have fun, and you wouldn't have fun, would you?
No.
It's ridiculous. Like, in that case, if you wanted to bring like 2 little Skaven slaves, like, a cool game would be like that versus like 1 maybe strong guy. Like, that could be kind of cool. Like, that's where you need to be looking at it. Like, if that's what someone wants to play, then you make something that would be fun to verse that.
Make situations and scenarios. Yeah. Bring the fluff. Immerse yourself in what you're doing more.
And if you don't like it, go back to War Machine. Go back to Infinity. Go back to Malifaux. If this is not interesting you, then don't come back to it, because lots of the people that are complaining are not actively playing this right now.
And it does remind me of Malifaux a bit. It's kind of like 40k fantasy Malifaux,
And,
kind of.
Yeah, and if you were actively playing, then yeah, I feel for you because I can't see that. Yeah, you got screwed over. If you're actively into fantasy, you kept up with the releases, you brought the new stuff, you have multiple armies, then yeah, I do feel for those people. But I feel like there's such the minority here that it's just an unfortunate situation. And in that case, you're probably already in a gaming group. You're probably in a good gaming group. That's why you still play fantasy, and you're probably just gonna all keep playing 8th edition. And guess what?
Also,
You don't. And guess what? You,
times-
yeah. Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about new army books for the rest of your life. Like,
Yeah.
you can just play that and be happy.
And the end times was a clue that something big and different was coming.
Well, as far as I can hear, like 8th edition was very unbalanced as well. Like a good chunk of the armies were just unplayable in 8th edition, as far as I can tell. I don't know if they're more playable now, but from what I can tell, even with points, 8th edition wasn't balanced.
But all sorts of games. So you could what's the word 40k? You could take like a commissar and a bunch of Imperial Guardsmen, and I could take like a minimum troop cultist and make sure I have some big armor and things in there. You could easily with points make armies that are completely unbalanced, but still within how the game works and still within how the points work.
Mhm.
Points don't necessarily make prizes. Also, the other thing is though, like Chaos Warriors come in groups of 10 or more. So I can have 100 if I want. Don't be a dickhead. Also, if you're with friends, you like agree we can have like either the base number or twice the base number. Or an equal base number of things between war scrolls.
Yeah. Or you take however many you want to, you let me know, and then I will make my list in knowing that this is what you want to do. If you want to take hundreds, then let's think of a way that we can let you have fun playing your hundreds of Chaos Warriors, and that I can also have fun.
Yeah,
and I can take
and-
what I want to.
And you've got those rules that mean if you've got over a third different, you can change stuff.
Mhm.
And you just make it situational.
Yeah, it is what it
Well, you
is,
just-
and yeah. Is there anything else that we want to kind of go over before we kind of start wrapping it up?
Slaanesh. They're gonna ruin Slaanesh. Slaanesh is gone. Why Slaanesh? Kids can't handle penis tanks anymore. That's a thing, but we don't know what it is.
Well, isn't there
So-
like the fluff that Slaanesh is being captured by Sigmar or whatever?
Yeah, one of Sigmar's generals has captured him, but the other Dark Gods are mustering their forces. There's a different symbol where the Slaanesh symbol could be on one of the artworks in the
New
Sigmar
Chaos
box.
God?
Could be a new Chaos God. It could just be Slaanesh with a new symbol. We just don't know yet, and I'm sure we'll find out.
Maybe it's
I'm pretty-
maybe it's the artist formerly known as Prince.
The artist formerly known as Slaanesh?
as the Dark Prince.
No. Like it's Prince's symbol because he like changed his name to a symbol.
Oh.
If you added the Slaanesh symbol to the new symbol, it kind of looks like the Prince symbol. Because this new symbol was like it's like a head with horns, basically.
We had it
So
here
it could well
first.
be-
Prince is in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. Prince is the new Lord of Darkness.
Hmm.
The Lord of the Purple Rain, color of magic.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, people are freaking out about that, but we don't know what's going to happen. And
Wait,
Slaanesh
isn't
is-
Slaanesh purple as well?
Yep.
Yeah, purple and pink. Yeah.
Does he also drive a red Corvette?
Yes. Confirmed. But in all seriousness, though, like, okay, let's say they either change or worst case scenario remove Slaanesh. It's not stopping you from still having Slaanesh stuff.
No.
Games Workshop. I'm gonna say something that's gonna blow your mind. But Games Workshop never released a penis tank. That was a conversion.
No, I saw it
No?
with my own eyes.
Okay, but I'm telling you the truth, Seb. They never released a penis tank. There was no nipples on any of their tanks. That is all conversions, and that's all what people have done after they've brought stuff from Games Workshop. If Games Workshop tones Slaanesh down, it doesn't mean you can ramp it up to penis tank. You can
Oh,
still
yeah.
do that. You
Also,
can still do that.
As the internet and everyone often cries, sex isn't the only thing about Slaanesh. It's excess and gluttony and perfection.
Shut
and
up. No one
all
else
that
cares about
stuff.
that. It's
All
just
right,
sex.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
sex.
It's
Just
just
put a
penis
bra on
tanks.
that demon neck because kids can't handle boobies.
That I can understand. I can completely understand that.
But
Yeah.
why?
Not that they're not
They
like-
suck on titties as a young kid.
Yeah, but how many times is like do you see parents in there with like their kids buying stuff for their kids? You know, like
Not
that's an
that often.
awkward conversation when you're like, they come back and they're like, you know, do you see this? Like these ones have their tits hanging out, and let's just avoid that. Like in total, if you want tits on your Slaanesh demonettes, then green stuff them on. If you want a
Yeah.
dick on a tank,
But in 5th edition, they just had them there.
There's Slaanesh stuff in the Age of Sigmar Warriors Chaos book for sure. I'm just checking the demon.
yeah, I went through those army books, and all the Slaanesh stuff is still in there. They're not stopping Slaanesh.
So Slaanesh is still supported. Jesus Christ, people. I think that's the entire point of this. Is just calm the fuck down. Play it if you want to play it. Don't play it if you don't want to play it. Don't
What's
fucking
your
set the world
fucking
on fire.
language, Seb?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. My exact thing is for people that actively played fantasy, you know, through 8th, and were still putting money into the game when this change happened. I do feel sorry for you. At the same time, a lot of you that I know that were doing that are okay with the changes and are happy for Age of Sigmar. For those of you that came out of the fucking woodwork because this change happened, you dropped your other games, rushed back to the Warhammer Fantasy Battle banner, and then started just like flinging shit all over the internet. Like it's people like that can just like fuck right off. Like we don't want you in this like community, you know, part thing here. Like you can go back to your other games, and it's
Crawl back into your mum's basement.
and just
Go
start
back
and
to
just
playing
and,
like 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons.
and just keep flinging shit at 40k, because
Yeah.
us dirty 40k gamers are used to it by now. Dirty
Keep telling
40k
us
casuals.
that your 3 Infinity models that cost you $120 is better than my $120 boxes of 2 troops that
Yeah.
contain 20 models.
People always disagree about games. People always throw shit at games. We're just try not to be a dick. Oh, and that guy set fire to his entire army. Well done.
Yeah.
Well fucking done. Death, holy death.
I've seen
over his
Kieran.
fucking
I've
neighbours.
seen Kieran do stuff like that.
I've thrown models. That's because I
Yeah.
get frustrated painting them. But the worst part is I will then
Brett-
go out and buy another one.
Yeah, a brand new Lilith model that he painted.
Yeah, and my Razorwing, my Razorwing jet fighter, I painted it, and then I painted it again, and I painted it again, and I was like, this doesn't look right. So I went to Heartless, and I'm like, you play Dark Elder, take this one, and then I brought another one the other day, the next day.
Didn't you try and fly
And
a
that's why-
Valkyrie as well?
I did it on purpose. I was done with Imperial Guard. We just wanted to make terrain, so we threw that Valkyrie on the ground. But and that's why 40k is still a thing, because people spend money on it.
And maybe this will give a special injection into fantasy. We'll see.
It's not fantasy anymore.
Okay, sorry, Sigma isn't.
Yeah.
No.
There.
Age of Sigmar 40k. Return of the Lost Primarch.
Maybe Sigmar is one of the lost Primarchs. Got sent back in time.
Yes, he's a Primarch. They're slowly just phasing out the fantasy universe, and they're just merging it into 40k. The changes are going to be so slight that you won't even realize it. One day you'll just be playing, and you'll be like, "Holy crap, I'm playing 40k."
One day you just have some dude
Conspiracy,
digging him
they're
up.
just
You're
trying
like,
to get-
oh my god, I'm playing Eldar now.
No, because they'll be like, "We're gonna play
It's like you had
Oh.
practice at that.
You know,
Gotta pay the bills.
you
Gotta pay them
the bills
40k
somehow.
bills.
No, at the end of the day, Games Workshop has to make money. They make this change because they weren't making money. It's all about money.
That's
Money,
the one
money.
thing that I always laugh about when people bitch about businesses that make changes and stuff. It's like, You do realize their one goal in this
Just
business
make
is to
money.
make money.
And to keep
Like,
their company going for as
that's-
long as
that's the-
possible, making money.
The ultimate thing in any business is that they need to make money. They can't just hand out stuff for free anymore.
Yeah.
And the bigger you get, the more that becomes a thing. The more you have a board of people that are just driving at sales.
Yeah.
You might start off with all kind of altruistic means of playing fun things, but you still want to make money, and then it becomes more and more money. And that doesn't make them evil.
Games Workshop doesn't care about you. Private Press doesn't care about you. Corvus Belli doesn't care about you. No one gives a shit. They want to make money, and they're gonna do what they need to do to make money. If what they do to make money is listen to the community and build their game around the community, they're still just doing it because that is what's making them money. As soon as that changes, they will do whatever they need to do to keep making money.
See, we don't even make money yet, and we don't care about you guys.
There is some definite gift horse mouth looking in with the amount of free stuff. This is nicer than they thought they ever needed to be.
Mhm.
So,
And, some might say that they are actually listening to people.
what, you can get looted vehicles in fantasy now?
Oh, man. Watch this video if you want to see 3 guys suck Games Workshop's triple dick of Slaanesh.
And titties at 1920.
To try...
Just have to snip that in there at 1920.
Yep. Games Workshop's pitchforked Slaanesh dick. We're all just gurgling around it right now.
Oh, I'm gonna buy the box set tomorrow. I'm sorry.
One of us is gonna die from like this. If someone watches this like all the way to the end,
Oh. Just have fun and be nice to each other and stop being dickheads. That's the thing.
we've been kind of dickheads in this conversation though.
Oh yeah.
But
But we're
Crazy.
allowed to.
yeah,
The way
Sorry,
you fight
Daddy
dickheads is by being a dickhead, right? Surely.
yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Fire with fire.
We're dirty 40k casuals. It's about time.
We play 40k. We don't know any better.
Everything and burn it down.
We don't know what a real game is.
No, it's no, but like what we say, like it is one community is this geeky gaming stuff. There's no reason to attack anyone except for when you're really, really mad.
No, but this is a really important point. We were talking about this before. We're all massive freaking nerds playing war games. Doesn't matter what system you're playing, what company it's from.
Actually, I
just
prefer
each
the-
other's
I-
hobby.
I prefer the term gaming enthusiast.
I'm sorry, we're all hobbyists and game enthusiasts, but yeah, just support each other in what you want to play, and try not to be a dick.
And try to rage
Otherwise-
too much at changes. try to embrace them.
At least give it a go before you rage.
Before you get married and have kids and then not be able to play it anymore because you can't afford it.
But Faith was
Looking
so
at bo-
good.
I'm looking at both you guys right now. Kieran's already there. Seb's halfway there.
You're the closest one to having a kid.
Hey! Just 'cause I'm
I
really
guess
late.
kids you don't know about, a kid you're not paying for, so you know.
Exactly.
Have a new show.
Yeah. But yeah. I think we can kind of wrap this up. I think we've kind of set our piece, and I think that's more
I never
about what it
wrap it.
was. It was just yeah, exactly. But I think that's more what it was. It was just this so much like hate was thrown at this that we're just kind of throwing some hate back. Adding fuel to this fire. So
We got your back, Games
Which-
Workshop.
which-
Now send us
yeah.
free stuff.
no, it's back Games Workshop.
Right in my eye again. I always tell you.
But Yeah, no, we're just as bad as everyone else. So, but at least you can listen to us and get a different opinion on Age of Sigmar.
And look at my pretty face.
So yeah, so if you have any more questions about Age of Sigmar, Seb is our resident expert, so send him messages.
Yep, Seb's played enough that he knows the rules now.
And
I mean, it's a pretty basic game that like children can pick up and
basically
play.
40k. So yeah,
basically
we can
40K.
be backups. Ask us questions. We know how to play 40k.
Yeah. Just don't call it
Yes.
fantasy or I'll slap you.
Oh, I'm gonna get death threats.
I won't be the first time.
Anything anyone wants to say before we call this done?
Just have fun with it. Just have fun with it.
Fucking the flamboyant Seb.
Yeah, you're right. Seb won't be coming back on the show. It's okay.
Yeah. Just have fun with it, guys. Just just embrace each other, like hold each other really tightly. Just share the love around.
I'm sorry. Fuck your mothers.
Yeah, there we go.
No, but I hope that we at least did did some constructive stuff. Obviously, we ourselves are a little bit we have a little bit of rage. That is kind of the point of the show. But we do hope there is a little bit of constructiveness there. So, Age of Sigmar, best game ever. Yeah.
I got my blowjob glasses on.
So, so yeah, for more geeky gaming goodness, check out alliesindex.com. There'll be stuff there and things. Check out alliesindex.com for all your Age of Sigmar latest updates from Seb. But once again, I'm Toxic. With me today has been Seb
Bye.
and Savage.
Fuck your mother's cunts.
And as always, have a good one.